So tomorrow we're making pork belly tacos. I put the pork belly in a freezer for about 30 minutes, just so it's easier for me to trim the skin off. So you just wanna, you know, go slowly, just to trim the skin off. Take your time, just little by little. I'm gonna keep the skin because I want to try to make some pork rinds. You know, just little by little. If you want to take it all off on one piece, that's all right. Just little by little. Careful, you want to cut yourself. And point your knife slightly upwards while you're doing it, so you don't cut too much into the fat. Make sure you got a sharp knife. Sharp knife make it much easier. Just try to stay under the skin. You want to try to not cut off as much fat, but just make it work. It's cold too. Like I said, I had it in the freezer for about 30 minutes. The deep freezer, as a matter of fact.
Put on the table.
So I got a little piece left in the corner right here, but I took off this whole piece right here. So what I'm gonna do with this, I'm gonna hold this in the fridge for about a day. I'm gonna salt it and I'm gonna put it back on the grill to make some pork rinds. Lay around for that. So I cut off the skin. A little more than I wanted to, but it's all right. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna score. I'm gonna just score it. Not too much, not too deep. I'm gonna score it both ways, diagonally. Score it that way, and then I'm gonna cut it again.
What's the reason for doing that?
The seasoning, once you put your seasoning in it, it's gonna penetrate deeper into the meat. Since the pork has a deep fat. So I'm gonna do this tomorrow. So that's all I'm doing right now for the night. Also, what I wanna do is set up my grill. Go set up the grill tonight. Alright, so along with trimming off that skin last night, I also set up the grill in the snake method. It only took about 5 minutes. I'm gonna use these 2 tumbleweeds to start up about 6 to 8 coals. I'm using 2 because I wanted to come up fast. You only need 1 really. But since I'm on lunch break, I'm pressed for time. So, while that's doing its thing, we'll go in the house and season up the real meat. Add this in the fridge overnight. No seasoning. Just pat it dry a little bit. Now what I'm gonna do, just put a little mustard on it just so the seasoning stick. Just a little bit. Rub that in there. It mixed up some seasoning. This is not the actual seasoning that's in here. Yeah, like some brown sugar, salt, pepper, paprika, some cilantro, lime, and just a few other things. So we're gonna sprinkle that on now. And while that grill, while them coals getting ready, you're just gonna let this seasoning sit on there for a little bit. You don't need much. The mustard don't do nothing to it really. It don't add no extra flavor or nothing. It's just for the seasoning and stick, that's all. And when I throw this on the grill, I'm gonna throw it on fat side up. Since I'm doing a Weber kettle, so the heat goes over the meat, so the fat gonna protect it from burning. Now, if you was doing like an offset smoker or reverse flow smoker, you'll want to use it fat side down, since that's where the heat comes from, the bottom. I'll just sprinkle this. So we're just gonna let this sit for a little bit. You want to just pat the seasoning into the meat, just to make sure it's making good contact. And that's it. Just wait for those coals to get hot and we're gonna throw it on the grill. What I did was took the hot coals out and added them at the front of the snake. So what's gonna happen now is these coals gonna light the next one. You wanna use this for a slow cooking method. How are you? Make sure you add hot water. The purpose of the water, regulate the temperature and it keep the meat moist. You don't want to add cold water because then the heat gonna fight to try to stay up. You're gonna drop that meat right in the middle. Some deep coated. Look at that shit. in the middle, right over the water. So when it drip in the water, less mess. So it's been 2.5 hours. I just got back from work, so let's see how I look. Oh yeah, looking good. Getting close. See the snake? Still going. It's only been 2.5 hours. You got at least another 6 hours left on the snake. Alright, so it's been 4 hours now. This right here had a puddle, which is why it's not as brown. So I just dab that up. So got it pretty much where I want it. So now I'm gonna take it off. Oh yeah. This thing is ready. Normally wrap it in some foil for about an hour, but I think 30 minutes will do for this because it seems like it's ready. Alright, so I got it wrapped nice and tight. Another 30 minutes, put it off. It's ready to go. So it's been resting for about an hour and a half, just because the wife left and went to the store. So I just wanted to wait for her. I covered it in like 2 towels, tri-fold it. It's still warm too. Look at that color on that. You should smell it.
No more chips.
Careful, this thing might fall apart. That, you can use that. You can put that in your homemade barbecue sauce, you know. Boil it down. Add some flavor. Let's cut this up. Look at this thing. This thing like, oh. Alright, so let's slice him on up. Oh, look at that. It's so freaking tender that it's just gonna fall apart.
Wow.
So what you can do from here, we're making tacos tonight. So you can cut some in cubes.
Daddy.
Yes, back up.
Burn her pork.
Or you can even shred it. It's so tender. Or you can just shred it. Have like pulled pork type thing. That bark at the bottom, oh man.
They can't see you eating from here.
It's like bacon. It's basically bacon. So totally, it's cooked about 4.5 hours, 5 hours. I came home, I set the grill up last night. Came home on lunch break, fired the grill up, threw the meat on. Went back to work for about 2.5 hours, came back, checked on it, let it go for about another 2 hours. I wrapped it, let it go for about another 30 minutes, 45 minutes. After that, took it off, let it rest, and that's what we got. Have some extra texture. Good, it's like good. It's just disrespectfully. It just wanna fall apart. It wanna fall apart. So we just shred them. That's what we got.